Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another review of the haves and the have-nots. I am late with this one, so I've had a busy few days. I went to watch the show on Wednesday, and video on demand was not working because of an outage, so I couldn't watch the show until yesterday, and then I didn't get around to doing the review until today because, like I said, I've had a busy few days. I'm tired. I'm wearing my old clothes that I relax in. So forgive that. So let's get into this review. So Veronica, she responds to Jim accusing Celine of killing Amanda. She responds to that by telling Celine, he's trying to frame you. And of course he's doing that so he can, get rid of Celine and not have to pay her that money. But Celine just seems so baffled that Jim is behaving this way, and I'm like, you should know who Jim Cryer is. I mean, he's not a good person. You are aware of how he treated you. You've seen how he treats Catherine. You've seen how he treats his children and everybody else. So why are you surprised, Celine, that he would try to set you up for something? I don't know. Celine just does not seem to get it. It's like she's not clicking. She's like, what is wrong with you? Instead of just acknowledging that he's just a bad person. But I think that Celine might be the one to kill Jim because she's pretty much at the end of her rope right now. Veronica tells Jim to get Celine that money in 24 hours or he's going to jail. But I don't even see this series having another 24 hours left in it. I mean, there's 3 episodes left before it ends. Or 2 episodes left before the finale and just 3 episodes left overall. So I don't see there being 24 hours left in this series. So I think it's just going to be a very rushed finale. A lot of, big stuff happening in the last hour of the final episode of the show. So anyway, Hannah goes over to the loft, Wyatt's loft, and Broderick is in bed with 2 women, and Hannah's like, I did not come here to see all of this. So Hannah tells him that Catherine would not be pleased that he has women in her house. And he asks Hannah not to tell Catherine, oh, please don't tell her. She takes care of me. Because Hannah asks, what are you to her? And then he tried to flirt with Hannah. And Hannah was like, I know you're not trying to flirt with me. So later on, Hannah tells Catherine, well, Broderick wasn't alone. And so Catherine's, of course, furious, and she's like, you know what, in the morning, call the sheriff and have them throw him out of there. And she asked Hannah to call Broderick. And so Hannah gets Broderick on the phone, that like a 3-way call. And Catherine tells him she knows about all of that, and she wants him out, and he's trying to talk his way out of it, and he actually says that Hannah lied. No, she lied. I knew she was going to lie. My sister was over there. And Catherine's like, your sister was in the bed with you. No, she was on the couch, and all that. And so he was just lying. And I'm like, Broderick, you were afraid of being deported. You needed a place to stay. You couldn't just, be in there alone and not do anything to jeopardize it. You had to bring women in there and just jeopardize this whole thing. And then on the other hand, Catherine just seemed a bit clueless about how much Broderick really cared about her. I think she was talking about, she wanted to feel loved or something. I'm like, Catherine, the only reason that he was involved with you in the first place is because you basically blackmailed him into sleeping with you, and then she blackmailed Rocky too. And I don't know why Catherine was so surprised, but she was. And so Broderick was saying all this about Hannah lying, and Hannah was he was, and then and no, the voiceover came on the phone and said, you're talking to an inmate in the county jail. You have so many seconds left. And he's like, how are you? And Broderick's like, how are you calling me? And Hannah says, oh, she's calling me through me, the liar. She's calling you through me, the liar. And so Broderick knew he was in trouble. And then Wyatt was back there in the background. He's like, get off the phone. And Catherine heard Wyatt and was like, is that Wyatt? And then Broderick just hangs up the phone. And so she asked Hannah to go over there and check. So, of course, Wyatt is just being self-destructive as usual. And Broderick was trying to tell him to stop. You're going to kill yourself. You're taking uppers and downers at the same time. And Wyatt's just like, go clean the kitchen. And I'm like, why are you worried about a clean kitchen when you're just binging out on drugs? Seems like the last thing he would be worried about was a clean kitchen. And then Wyatt asked Broderick, oh, can you get some more drugs? And he's like, well, no, I don't have any more money. Wyatt's like, that's not a problem. Just go to my parents' house. My mom has jewelry, my dad has watches, and Broderick's like, no, I'm not doing that, and Broderick just leaves. I mean, Broderick at this point is just homeless, so all he could do was walk out of the place. So let's talk about Benny and all of this mess. So So Benny, he talks on the phone to Rihanna, and she's saying, well, I'll get you the keys to the house. And basically he has learned nothing. He still is trying to hook up with her and all of that. He has learned nothing. And then he talks to Mitch, and Mitch finds out that Mama Rose is not running the family anymore. And of course, Vinny is very angry that Mitch lied about the family protecting Benny and Candace. And he's like, do you know how far back we go with Jim Cryer? He's gotten us out of so much trouble. What did he, your brother and all of that, and your mom. And I'm like, okay, so the mother was a criminal too. The whole family is just a mess. So of course, Mitch had to be punished, and so some of the goons just beat Mitch up and they're hitting him in the face. And I'm like, even though he asked them not to do that, they hit him in the face. And I'm like, really? You really hit this man in the face? Just vicious. So I don't think they're going to kill Mitch, because Vinny only said punish, not kill. So we'll see if Mitch can survive this, but I don't think Benny is going to survive, because Benny is just not taking the hint to leave this alone. Leave Rihanna alone. Go on about your business. Let it go. So let me just talk about Candace. So Candace gets a visit from Senator Westlake, and he's insisting, oh, Charles loves you, and he's sick without you, and all of this. And then he says Charles's first wife committed suicide. And I'm like, wait a minute, how is this supposed to be a persuasive argument to get Candace to engage with Charles. I mean, if his wife committed suicide, what was going on to make her do that? I mean, that does not sound right at all. And he's like, don't tell anybody that. So Candace is just like, you know what? I don't want to hear any of this. It's just like she just wants to be left alone. So let's see what else we've got here. So Jim and Veronica's hitmen. So they ended up getting into this death match. They were fighting, going back and forth. Both of them were holding their own. And finally, they just stopped because it was clear that neither one of them were going to back down from the fight. So Jim's henchman, he cuts a deal. You know what? I've got to kill her. And Veronica's henchman is like, well, she threatened to deport me, have me deported. So he clearly does not like her. And, you know, his task was to kill Jim's hitman. So Jim's hitman cuts a deal. You know what? How about I kill her and we just divide the money up? Because Veronica was paying her hitman less than Jim was paying his hitman. So they came to a deal. So they go off in the car, to do what they have to do. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So we'll see. Because, with, what's the other show? I forgot the name. If Loving You Was Wrong, that basically all of the villains in there either got killed or, some sort of comeuppance. So we'll see if Veronica bites the dust. We'll see if Jim bites the dust. But I think Celine is going to kill Jim. So that's just my prediction right there. So, and this was probably the most bizarre part of the episode for me. So Veronica goes to this gay bar. And she gets to the, she's right up there, where you check in. I'm drawing a blank on what the, the little desk where you check in or whatever. Why am I the hostess stand or whatever you want to call it? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. I have a bit of a headache. So she gets into it with the drag queen up there. And, because Veronica just has to insult everybody. And then she goes into the, she gets into the club and then she starts talking to this guy. And it turns out it's her old boyfriend, the one that she did not know was gay. And she's saying, I have something to tell you. And that something is obviously that Jeffrey is his son because, she did tell David, oh, Jeffrey's not your son. Jeffrey's not your son. But Veronica, she claims that she's not still upset over that. But, yeah, she's still upset. It's over the guy being gay. Because it's all that it's all that drives her. She's just angry about it. And it's almost everything she does is motivated by it. And, so she ends up getting into this pose down with the drag queen. And for somebody so homophobic, Veronica sure does have a lot of, knowledge about LGBT culture because she was just going off. Anyway, so let's get to Sandy. So Sandy comes up in there with Vinny and he has something on his head and he's like, oh, Vinny did this. He did this. Oh, and Vinny just looks at Sandy like he's just so annoyed with him, and we know that Vinny is not really here for Sandy. And because Sandy is just like, he's full of crap, he talks big stuff, but he just is not, all that he pretends to be. And he's like, you know what, I know what really happened. because he's trying to because Sandy was basically trying to snow Vinny, and Vinny's like, I know what happened, and Sandy's like, I want Benny dead. I want Benny dead. And he's like, well, why didn't you? Benny's like, why didn't you do it? And he takes out a gun and he's like, go kill him. I want him dead. And it's almost as if Vinny knows that Sandy's not going to do it. It's like he's just trying to see if he will do it. Because Sandy's looking like, because Sandy was just expecting for Vinny to be like, oh, let me put out a hit on Benny because he beat up little Sandy. But Benny kind of called his bluff and just gave him the gun and was like, go ahead, do it. So anyway, that was the episode. Wasn't too much action in it, too much going on. But next week, something weird happens and Oscar shows up to see Candace and he's like, you thought you killed me? And I'm like, what is this? Are we doing, back from the dead and all of that? And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that was the haves and the have-nots. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye.